Yo, what's good, fam? It's your boy Legend, and I am back with another video. You already know what this is just by looking at the thumbnail. Now, quick note just before we get into the video. I originally wasn't going to upload this video. I was going to upload what if Naruto was smart and gave up on Sasuke. But for those that had been subbed to me since my very first YouTube channel, you all know I hate reading fan fictions that have a lot of bad grammar in them because I have to correct that bad grammar in the midst of reading the fan fiction, in the midst of recording, basically. So I just decided to not upload that. I'm really not going to upload that until you guys start to ask for that series. But yeah. So if you guys like this video, make sure to hit that like button. The like goal for this video is going to be 5 likes. So get this to 5 likes, subscribe while you're at it. And without further ado, let's just get into this intro so we start this what if. The sun had long dipped below the horizon, casting a warm golden hue over the deserted park. The air was cool, but Naruto hardly noticed. His attention was entirely on the trembling girl standing before him, barely a foot away. Rainier's violet eyes shimmered with emotion. She stared at him as if he was her entire world. And to her, now, he was. Wordlessly, she stepped closer and cupped his cheeks, her hands shaking. Naruto didn't pull away. His cerulean eyes stayed soft, patient. "I'm sorry," Rainier whispered, her voice breaking. "I'm so sorry, Naruto, for everything. I was so scared." She leaned in and kissed him, not out of lust or seduction, but raw desperation and need. The kiss was passionate, messy, and emotional. Naruto wrapped his arms around her tightly, pulling her against him, feeling how she trembled in his hold. When they parted, Rainier leaned her forehead against his chest, breathing hard. "We're being watched," she murmured, barely loud enough for him to hear. Naruto's arms remained firm around her. He closed his eyes briefly, then opened them again, calm and collected. "I know," he said, cryptically, his voice steady. Rainier looked up at him, startled. Naruto offered her a small, reassuring smile and tilted her chin up. "Come on, let's go home." Without another word, the two of them walked together out of the park, side by side, never once looking back. When they reached the house, a modest 2-story place, Naruto and Sasuke shared. Sasuke and Kaoner were already inside. The soft murmur of the TV filtered out from the living room, but both immediately turned their attention to the front door when Naruto and Rainier entered. Rainier didn't hesitate. She grabbed Naruto's hand and pulled him into the living room, where Sasuke leaned lazily against the wall and Kaoner perched on the arm of the couch, alert and serious. "I need to tell you everything," Rainier said, her voice shaking slightly but gaining strength. She faced the three of them, Naruto, Sasuke, and Kaoner, who were now focused solely on her. Naruto gave her a small nod of encouragement. Rainier took a breath and started. "It began months ago," she said. "Kakabio, he gave me orders, missions at first. I thought they were coming from Azazel. They said it was for the sake of the Grigori, for peace between the factions, and I believed them." She swallowed hard, her hands clenched at her sides. But then it changed. Kakabio stopped pretending he was working for Azazel. He made it clear he was acting on his own. He wanted chaos, a war. He wanted to throw the world into conflict again. She hesitated, looking ashamed. He ordered me to find artifacts, sacred gears, targets he thought would be useful, and if they didn't obey, her voice cracked. Naruto stepped closer, but didn't interrupt. Rainer's shoulders shook. He said he'd kill me, make me an example to other fallen. He said I was expendable, just another pawn. He made sure I knew it. He beat me once to prove that point, broke my wings, and left me barely able to fly for days. Kawaner's eyes darkened with fury. Sasuke's expression tightened. A flash of anger flickered through his usually stoic face. Rainer wiped her eyes with the back of her hand and kept going. I wasn't the only one. Others questioned him. They disappeared. Some of them, we found their bodies later, used for experiments. Kakabia was building something terrible, and he didn't care who he crushed along the way. She looked up at Naruto, who was deadly silent now. And then he ordered me to start preparing for the church. He wanted to set things up so he could provoke the Heaven faction and the devils into an open war. I didn't know what to do. I thought I had no choice. Rainer finally broke down, sinking onto the couch, her face buried into her hands. Naruto's hands were trembling slightly, though his face remained frighteningly calm. Slowly, almost methodically, he stepped forward and crouched in front of her. When he spoke, his voice was low and dangerous. If anyone tries to hurt you again, he said, I'll burn everything they love to ash. His eyes were no longer blue. They gleamed a crimson red, and the pupils now slitted like a predator's. A silent promise of violence hung in the air around him, thick and suffocating. You're my queen, Naruto said fiercely, and no one touches what's mine. Rainer's eyes widened, tears spilling freely now, not from fear but overwhelming emotion. Sasuke didn't say a word, but gave Naruto a look that conveyed approval. Kawaner smiled grimly, nodding to herself. Naruto stood and reached down, lifting Rainer effortlessly into his arms. You're staying here now, he told her simply, with us. You're not leaving my sight. Rainer nodded against his chest, holding on to him tightly. Time skip. 2 days later. Naruto, Sasuke, Rainer, and Kawaner stood in front of an unassuming building. Inside, Azazel waited. The Governor General of the Grigori greeted them with his usual lazy smirk, reclining back behind a desk cluttered with papers and artifacts. Naruto, Sasuke, good to see you again. Azazel drawled, his golden eyes glinting. His gaze shifted to Rainer, softening slightly. And Rainer, I heard you had a rough time. Rainer didn't respond, her posture guarded. Naruto stepped forward without hesitation. We want information on Kakabio, and we want everything. Azazel chuckled dryly. Straight to business, huh? Figures. He waved a hand and several holographic screens appeared, showing images and text. Kakabio was one of our oldest and strongest, Azazel began. But even among us, he always had a reputation, ruthless, bloodthirsty. He hated peace, hated heaven, hated the devils, hated pretty much everyone that wasn't him. He leaned back, his expression serious now. He believes that another great war is the only way to cleanse the world. He wants to drag all three factions, heaven, hell, and the fallen, into another conflict. I cut him loose months ago when I realized he wasn't going to back down. But he's still using Grigori resources he stole before he disappeared. Calendar folded her arms. You think he's hiding nearby? Probably, Azazel said. I have rumors he's building an army, gathering sacred gear users, tampering with forbidden artifacts, typical megalomaniac stuff. Sasuke frowned. You should have killed him when you had the chance. Azazel shrugged. Would have loved to, but killing someone like Akabel is messy, even by my standards. He leaned forward, steeping his fingers. Which brings me to why I asked you here. I need a favor. Naruto raised an eyebrow. What kind? Azazel smirked. In 4 days, a few of my wayward underlings are gathering at an abandoned church. I want you two, Naruto, Sasuke, to either convince them to get their act together or wipe them out. Preferably the former. But if not, he spread his hands. Well, you know what to do. Naruto shared a glance with Sasuke, who gave a slight nod. Fine, Naruto said. We'll handle it. Azazel leaned back again, satisfied. Knew I could count on you. Later that night, under the pale moonlight, Donosik moved swiftly. His blade flashed once Isehiro barely had time to scream before he fell, bleeding out into the earth. The world blurred around him as the life drained from his body. Issei's final thoughts was a desperate, pitiful wish. I don't want to die. I want to be with Rias. A soft crimson glow answered his plea. Moments later, Ria's Gremory appeared, kneeling beside his broken form. Her face was soft but determined. Without hesitation, she pulled out 8 glowing chess pieces, all 8 pawns. She pressed them against his dying body. You're mine now, Rias whispered. The pieces melted in him, fusing with his soul. His body convulsed once, and then still. Issei Hyodo died and was reborn as a devil. 2 days later, at Kuo Academy's morning bell rang out like a call of war, echoing over the sleepy town. A breeze carried sakura petals across the courtyard as students poured through the gates, but none of them attracted attention like the 2 new girls stepping through the front entrance. Rainier and Kawaner walked side by side, both dressed in the standard Kuo Academy girls' uniform, a crisp, white long-sleeved button-down shirt that clung to their curves, vertical black leggings, and short magenta skirts with white accents that hugged their hips with just a little too tightly. A black ribbon was tied neatly around each of their collars, swaying with every step. Nearly every male student they passed stopped in their tracks. Holy crap, one boy whispered, his eyes glued to Rainier. They're like models, another stammered, already blushing. Despite the attention, Rainier's face remained cold and focused, her violet eyes scanning the school grounds like she was searching for a threat. Kawaner, on the other hand, looked mildly amused until she saw a group of boys openly drooling. I can't believe Naruto is making us go through this, Rainier muttered under her breath. Kawaner sighed. He said it's safer if we're under constant watch. Honestly, I'd rather be bored in a classroom than look over my shoulder for Kakabel's leftovers. They better have decent coffee, Rainier added. Sona Shitori and her queen, Tsubaki Shinra, watched the scene unfold from the second floor window of the student council's room. Sona's lips pressed into a tight line. They forged the paperwork and manipulated half of our faculty to get enrolled overnight, she said, clearly annoyed. Can't prove it though, Tsubaki replied, her eyes narrowed. And even if we could, it wouldn't change anything. They're under Naruto and Sasuke's protection. They're disruptive, Sona muttered, and dangerous. Tsubaki didn't respond, but her gaze lingered on Kawaner a little longer than necessary. During homeroom, Rainier and Kawaner were introduced as transfer students. Whispers filled the air as they took their seats near Naruto and Sasuke. A few brave, or stupid, boys tried to start small talk. Hey, Rainier, right? Are you free after school? No. I could show you around town. I said no. Kawaner received the same attention and reacted just as harshly. Kawaner, I play guitar. Maybe I could write a song for you should play it far away from me. The perverted trio, Issei, Matsuda, and Motohama, were the most persistent. Matsuda and Motohama fawned over Kawaner, while Issei constantly hovered around Rainier, barely hiding his infatuation. Hey, Rainier, just one date. Come on, it'll be fun. Rainier's eyes twitched. I already went on one date with you. Remember, Yuma Amano? Issei blinked, confused. What? Realizing what she said, Rainier's expression soured. Without another word, she stood and exited the classroom with Kawaner quickly following. You slipped up, Kawaner muttered. I noticed, Rainier hissed. After classes ended, Issei walked slowly toward the occult research club. His usual energy was gone. There was no loud declaration about boobs, no grinning or pervy jokes, just a blank, hollow stare. When he entered the club room, the rest of Rias Gremory's peers turned towards him in confusion. Issei? Rias asked gently, what's wrong? He slumped into the couch, shoulders hunched. I saw her. Yuma Amano. She's going to this school now. Her real name is Rainier. Everyone went silent. She rejected me, Issei muttered. Said she already went on a date with me, back when she was acting. She rubbed it in my face. Kaneko crossed her arms unimpressed. You're a pervert. Why do you care? Kaneko, Ria said with a warning tone. She used me, lied to me. Then she came here with Naruto and now they're a couple? Issei's fist clenched. He stole her from me. That's not what happened, Ria said calmly. Rainier and Naruto have been together long before you were even involved. She only went out with you because she was forced to for a mission. But still! Rias walked over and knelt beside him, placing a hand on his shoulder. I know it hurts, she said gently. But it was never real. She wasn't yours to lose. Issei looked at her, then flinched as she pulled him into a hug, pressing his face against her chest. Normally, he would have melted, but today he just sat there, unresponsive. Akeno stood quietly by the window, her mind racing. So they're together, huh? She whispered to herself. Rias turned towards her. Akeno? Akeno smiled sweetly. Oh, nothing. I'm just thinking, if Naruto found out Rainier was still hiding things, maybe he'd leave her. Maybe he'd choose someone more open. Issei's head snapped up. You want Naruto too? Akeno blinked at him, then smirked. He's strong, handsome, kind. What's not to want? Issei stood, fist shaking. So he gets rain air, and now you? He's taking everything. Ria stepped between them. Enough. Naruto isn't taking anything from anyone. This isn't about competition. Akeno, don't stir things up. Akeno didn't respond, but in her mind, the plan had already started forming. She just needed the right moment to make her move. And Naruto, he wouldn't know what hit him. The sun cast its golden hue over Kuo Academy as students began to disperse for the day. Issei Hyodo, his heart heavy with betrayal and resentment, walked alone, distancing himself from the occult research club. The laughter and camaraderie that once filled his days now felt like a distant echo. As he turned a corner near the academy gates, he collided with someone, causing both to stumble. Oh, I'm so sorry, a soft voice exclaimed. Issei looked up to see a young girl with long blonde hair and emerald eyes, dressed in a nun's outfit. She appeared flustered, brushing off her attire. No harm done, Issei replied. He extended a hand to help her up. Thank you, she said, accepting his hand. I'm Asia Argento. Issei Hyodo. He introduced himself. Asia's eyes lit up. I'm new here. It was trying to find a local church, but I seem to have lost my way. Issei hesitated for a moment, memories of his recent encounters with the supernatural flooding his mind, yet something about Asia's innocence compelled him. I can show you the way, he offered. As they walked, Asia spoke of her journey, her faith, and her hopes for a new beginning. Issei listened, the warmth in her words momentarily soothing his inner turmoil. Upon reaching the church's vicinity, Issei felt an overwhelming pressure, a barrier that repelled his very being. He stopped abruptly, catching his chest. I'm sorry, Asia, he said, forcing a smile. I can't go any further. This is as close as I can get. Asia nodded, concern in her eyes. Thank you, Issei. I hope we meet again. As she disappeared into the church, Issei's smile faded, replaced by a scowl. The image of Naruto Uzumaki loomed in his mind, igniting a fire of resentment. Naruto, he muttered, his voice laced with venom. You took everything from me. My friends, my respect, even Rainier, but I'll take it all back. Your ramen shop, your popularity, your woman, even your power. And then I will end you. A sinister laugh escaped his lips, echoing through the empty streets. The transformation had begun. The next day, the cafeteria buzzed with chatter as students gathered for lunch. Naruto sat at his usual spot, Rainier perched comfortably on his lap, her arms draped around his shoulders. Suddenly a hush fell over the room as Kawana approached Sasuke Uchiha, her steps hesitant yet determined. Without a word, she leaned down and pressed her lips to his, causing gasps to ripple through the crowd. Sasuke's eyes widened in surprise, his Rinnegan momentarily visible, casting a mesmerizing glow. Kawana, emboldened, straddled his lap, deepening the kiss as she ran her fingers through his hair. Naruto chuckled, nudging Rainier. Looks like Kawana finally found her courage. Across the room, Tsubaki Shinra clenched her fist, her gaze fixed on the pair. Jealousy flared in her eyes, but she remained silent, seething internally. Meanwhile, Akeno Himejima observed the scene with calculated interest. Her mind raced, formulating a plan to win Naruto's affection. She would expose Rainier's past, manipulate the truth, and turn Naruto against her. Unbeknownst to Akeno, Naruto was already aware of Rainier's history and her initial mission involving Issei. After school ends, Issei Hyodo walks through Kuo Tower under the fading light of dusk, a slip of paper with the summoning request in hand. He's alone. Kaneko had originally been assigned the task, but due to his growing involvement with the Occult Research Club and his desire to prove himself, Rias allowed him to handle this contract instead. Issei eventually reached the abandoned house on the outskirts of the town. It's eerily quiet, the surrounding area desolate. He glanced around, cautious, and stepped through the broken doorframe. The air was thick, and something about the silence just felt wrong. "Hello?" he called out. "I'm here for the summoning contract." He moved deeper inside, his senses on edge. And as he stepped into a large, dimly lit room, he froze. There were bloodstains smeared across the floor. Before he could even react, a crazed voice echoed from the shadows. "Oh, look what the cat dragged in, a little devil boy." From the shadows, freed Selzen had emerged, a rogue exorcist clad in a priest's uniform, holding a glowing white-bladed exorcist sword in one hand and a gun in the other. His eyes gleamed with insanity. "The church's dog," Issei muttered, backing up. "What the hell is a priest doing here?" Free grinned, licking the blade. "I was hoping for the white-haired brat, but you'll do just fine." Without warning, Free lunges at Issei, blade swinging. Issei summoned his boosted gear, and the red gauntlet erupted around his arm. Boost! The sacred gear announces. Issei barely blocked the first strike. The sheer holy energy of Freed's blade burning through his defenses. He winced in pain. The weapon, it was made to hurt devils. As they clash, a figure steps into the room. "Stop!" A female voice cried out. I don't know why I did it like that, but oh well. It was Asia Argento, the nun Issei had bumped into earlier today. From here, the scene would play out just as it did in canon, where all of Ria's peers would come to save Issei, and etc. Later, back at the Occult Research Club, Rias would end up healing Issei with magic and skin-on-skin contact. "She's gone," Issei muttered. "We have to save her." Rias would stand. "No." He jolted up. "What? Why?" She slapped him. "This was your mistake. We're not risking more lives. Then I'll go myself. You'll die. Then so be it." Scene change. Naruto and Sasuke's residence. Naruto, Sasuke, Rainier, and Kawaner were all gathered in the living room as Azazel entered. His expression was grave as well. "There's a nun, and she's being held captive by rogue fallen angels," he announced. "Her name is Asia Argento, and we need to rescue her." Naruto and Sasuke exchanged glances, nodding in unison. "We're on it," Naruto affirmed. The group set out, arriving at the abandoned church. Naruto kicked the doors open, revealing Midel and Donasek waiting inside. "Traitorous bitches!" Donasek roared, charging at Rainier and Kawaner. Sasuke stepped forward, his hand crackling with energy. Chidori's spear. The lightning pierced Donasek's heart, stopping him mid-charge. Midel attempted to flee, but Sasuke cast a genjutsu, causing her to collapse. Rainier led them towards a hidden passage beneath the fireplace, revealing a staircase descending into the darkness. Simultaneously, Issei, Kaneko, and Kiba. The trio entered the church through a side entrance, sensing powerful energies below. Something's happening, Kiba noted. We need to hurry. Rias and Akeno would join them, confusion etched on their faces. Why are there fading magic signatures below? Rias wondered aloud. In the basement, Asuka hung crucified, eyes fluttering. Naruto smashed the restraint. Cowner caught her. Sasuke scanned the shadows. You're safe now, Rainier whispered. Thank you. They would walk upstairs, Naruto carrying her. Back upstairs, Issei saw them. You! Ria's face contorted. Her bishop plan ruined. Issei screamed, boosted gear blazing, charging at Rainier. Die! Naruto stepped in front of him, catching his fist, his hair shadowing his face. His eyes were now slitted. Kurama's chakra flaring around him. You dare. He punched Issei into a wall. The boy twitched inside the crater that he made into the wall. Naruto stalked forward, forming a Rasengan. Rainier is my queen. You will never lay a finger on her. He gripped Issei by the face and lifted him up, crushing his skull in the process. Rias screamed, and Kiba reached for his sword. Rainier hugged Naruto from behind. Please stop. He's not worth it. Naruto trembled, then dropped him. Issei collapsed at Rias' feet. Akeno bit her lip. I'm really aroused now. I felt so weird saying that. Rias looked away, blushing hard. Naruto's power flickered down as he exhaled. Asuka looked up at him, eyes wide with awe. Naruto just smiled. But guys, I'm going to end it off right here. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe while you at it. But without further ado, I am out, and I will see you guys in the next one. Stay blessed, y'all.